A teenager receives a power that brings joy to others. But what will he do with it? At night, a man named Pfluger appears to be digging up a grave. Suddenly, lightning strikes, throwing him back toward his car. Trembling, but smiling, he leaves the scene. Kelly, a shy high school student, goes to a store to buy some food. On his way out, he bumps into his crush Dominic and her friend Sarah. Although Dominic seems interested in him, Kelly is too shy to speak to her. Kelly has an eating disorder that compels him to eat inedible things. Some school bullies, Nelson, Reed, Tony, and Brad, catch him in this condition and start making fun of him. Dominic tries to rescue him, but they dump Kelly headfirst into a garbage bin and record the whole incident. Fortunately, the store owner arrives and stops the situation. Back at school, Kelly's eating disorder is getting worse. He lives in a trailer with his mother, Bernice. We also see Red Elk performing some kind of ritual. A doctor comes to examine Kelly and recommends that he see a specialist, as his problem is psychological, not physical. Meanwhile, Pfluger manages to convince a group of people that he can cure any disease with his hands in exchange for money. A woman with leg problems agrees to treatment, and Pfluger places his hands on her knees. Miraculously, the woman is healed in front of everyone. Impressed, Bernice asks Pfluger to help her son, and he agrees. Later, Red Elk challenges Pfluger, demanding that he return the healing power that had belonged to his ancestors for hundreds of years. Red Elk warns, "Anyone who tries to harm me will only hurt themselves." Pfluger refuses to return the power and leaves with Bernice. Arriving at Kelly's home, Pfluger demands payment before helping. He touches Kelly but feels sick and goes to the bathroom. Pfluger returns, smokes, and when he touches Kelly again, he feels all of Kelly's illnesses and suddenly dies. Kelly wakes up and for the first time in many days, tells his mother he is hungry. Bernice notices that the scar on Kelly's chest has disappeared. The next morning, Kelly accidentally cuts his finger, but the wound heals instantly. He tells his mother, but she does not fully believe him, just happy that his illness seems to be cured. Later, when Kelly's bike breaks down, he runs into Dominic again, who comments that Kelly looks different somehow. As Kelly is leaving, Red Elk appears and tries to attack him, but each blow rebounds back onto Red Elk himself, causing him to flee in fear. Kelly informs his mother that he has gotten a job. Suddenly, there is a loud knock at the door. Gus, Nelson's father and the school coach, demands to know who beat up his son. Kelly tries to explain, but Gus does not believe him, which angers Bernice, who slams the door in his face. Afterward, Kelly demonstrates his power to his mother. He asks her to pinch him, and she feels the pain herself. He even proves that fire cannot harm him. At school, Sarah lends Dominic a hairband during class. Kelly, sitting behind Dominic, notices when the band falls in front of him. He carefully picks it up and returns it. Kelly imagines being with Dominic in a hot room where he is trying to cool her down. In reality, Dominic starts feeling something unusual, and Sarah experiences the same sensation. In Kelly's imagination, he embraces both Dominic and Sarah, causing them to become increasingly aroused until Sarah makes a noise in class. Yes! Kelly falls out of his chair and quickly leaves, leaving the girls confused. That night, they all meet at the beach, where Nelson and his friends are harassing Dominic. Kelly sees this and steps forward to rescue her. The boys threaten him, but now knowing his supernatural power, Kelly is not afraid anymore. Gus tells his boys to back off, but also warns Kelly about what he will do when he finds out what happened. Angrily, Kelly takes off on his bike. Brad and his friends follow in their sports car, driving close to intimidate him. Eventually, Kelly falls off his bike and the car hits him, but it is Brad who gets injured. Shocked, the others get out of the car and try to call an ambulance, but seeing Kelly unharmed, they abandon Brad and flee. Later, Kelly changes his shirt and sees his wounds healing instantly. Dominic and Sarah find the abandoned car by the roadside and see Kelly without even a scratch. He explains everything to them. Eventually, the police arrive with Kelly's mother, Bernice, and the sheriff questions the group, who lie and claim that Kelly caused the accident by jumping in front of the car. The next morning, Dominic hints about going to the movies, but Kelly does not catch on, so she ends up asking him out herself. Meanwhile, Nelson and his friends plot their revenge. That evening, Kelly is with his mother, who is not feeling well, so he goes out to get her medication. The bullies are waiting outside his trailer, and as soon as Kelly leaves, they put their plan into action. They tie the trailer's foundation to a truck and pull it, causing it to collapse heavily and trap Bernice inside. The impact causes a gas leak, and shortly after, the trailer explodes while she is still inside. Kelly pulls his mother from the fire, but by then, it is too late. Later at the hospital, the sheriff returns Kelly's belongings. Red Elk asks the sheriff for help in reclaiming a power he claims belongs to his people, but the sheriff does not believe him. After saying goodbye to his mother, Kelly rushes to Pfluger's grave, following Dominic. She tells him it is unfair that he has to leave, then kisses him on the cheek, giving Kelly the courage to finally kiss Dominic, as he has always dreamed of doing. However, she realizes that Kelly was behind the strange sensations she felt in class that day, so she says goodbye and leaves. Kelly eats a leaf from Pfluger's grave but immediately throws up. Sarah, who was watching from a distance, sees everything. Later, the sheriff takes Kelly to his new temporary home, mentioning that it appears someone had tampered with the supports of his mother's trailer before the explosion. Just then, Kelly spots the people responsible for his mother's death driving quickly past them. Enraged, he jumps out of the car. The group heads toward the river where Tony jumps into the water. Kelly finds their clothes, grabs a piece of Tony's shirt, and uses his power to drown Tony. Nelson drags Tony to shore, but it is too late. Seeing Kelly, Reed runs away. Kelly was about to confront the next one when the sheriff arrives, forcing Kelly to flee. That night, he goes to Dominic and confesses his revenge plan, but she convinces him that instead of taking revenge, he should force the boys to confess. The next day at school, Kelly provokes Tony, who angrily throws chemicals at him, but ends up burning his own face instead. Sarah punches Kelly below the waist, and for the first time, he feels what it is like to be hurt there. Kelly was about to confront Nelson, but the sheriff arrives to help Tony, giving Kelly a chance to escape. That evening, Sarah tells Nelson that she saw Kelly eating those strange leaves. Realizing these might be his weakness, they decide to collect leaves from Pfluger's grave. The next morning, Red Elk gets permission to open Pfluger's grave, while Gus trains Nelson. Meanwhile, the sheriff finds the chain used to pull down Bernice's trailer and confronts the boys. Kelly secretly sneaks into their truck, finds a drill, and eats a piece of underwear. Nelson is holding the leaves, but Kelly injures himself with the drill, forcing Nelson to confess. The sheriff tries to calm Kelly down, admitting that he knows about Kelly's acquired power. Dominic arrives just as Gus tries to stop Kelly, but instead falls to the ground himself. Nelson splashes liquid on Kelly, which weakens him, but Dominic quickly wipes it away. Gus grabs the sheriff's gun and aims at Kelly, but when he pulls the trigger, he kills both himself and his son Nelson. Afterward, Dominic and Sheriff Adler convince Kelly to return the power. That night, Red Elk prepares a ritual to take it back, but Kelly has held the power for too long, making it impossible to remove without killing him. Kelly tries to escape, but one of the officers accidentally shoots both him and Dominic. Before dying, Dominic begs him not to give up the power. Determined, Kelly decides that the power will die with him. Kelly eats Pfluger's heart, feeling all the pain that he endured before death. Later, as their bodies were being transferred, Dominic suddenly wakes up, now possessing the power herself with vengeance in her eyes. That is the end of today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next recap.